Hey guys, Rexlent here. Welcome to another video, this time for Girls Frontline 2. So Girls Frontline 2 is having a big anniversary, and the purpose of this video is to give you a quick rundown of the first chapter all the way to chapter 8. Just a crash course right before Exilium to get you started on the story if you haven't been following the story, or if you're new to GFL 2. Then this video is perfect for you. I'll keep it brief and mention the highlights of each chapter, so here we go. Chapter 0. As soon as we begin the game, you're gonna see Qiuhua and her team getting surrounded by enemies. Qiuhua is a blonde doll over here, so in GFL 2, dolls are basically an artificial humanoid android comprising of the physical frame, the body, and the virtual mind, a neural cloud, to put it really simply. And she is part of our team, the commander. So at the beginning, Qiuhua allows the others to escape. She stalls time and fights Darcher. Darcher is this doll over here, so I'll talk more about her later on. She is tasked to retrieve a cargo, and then a firefight ensues. And then Qiuhua activates a device called the remolding pattern device and causes a huge explosion, and we're sent to the beginning of GFL 2, which is this opening right here. In chapter 1, we can see that the commander is discussing with someone with the desire to not be used again, and the other man telling the commander that this is only temporary and they will be back again into the fray sooner or later. So if you don't know, GFL 2, Girls Frontline 2, happens 10 years after Girls Frontline 1. Basically, some really huge event happened, and commander was part of this group called Griffin and Kruger, and then they left for 10 years, and here we are in GFL 2. Our commander travels in the Elmo, a huge transportation vehicle, alongside Krolik and Nemesis, with Nemesis speaking in poetic riddles, sounding a bit like gibberish, but it's not. And funnily enough, only Krolik can understand her, so Krolik acts as her translator for us. As well as Mei Ling, a human girl, who is in charge of maintenance and logistics around the Elmo. So at this moment, Commander is on a cargo delivery mission with a huge payout. They are under attack mid-conversation, and they were captured by the Varjägers gang before getting rescued by Qiuhua and Nemesis on a jeep. A pink-haired girl awakens from inside the cargo and shoots them dead with laser beams. And then Commander successfully retrieves the cargo onto the Elmo, and our commander suspects that this commission may be rigged. One of Commander's contact, Polotnitsa, agrees and said that a month ago, all the other assigned teams for this commission have strangely disappeared, apart from our commander. This is also the part where we recruit Krolik as part of the Elmo gang. We beat the Varjägers mech boss, and then chapter 1 ends.
上に上げろ。ターゲットどうする。帰ったら訓練のやり直しだな、メイリン。クローザー。
箱がネメシス、箱お願い。無にキス。
箱は確保した。メイリン、飛ばせ。
あげる。
さあ。
In Chapter 2, our commander realized that they are being pursued. The cargo box was emitting a signal and there was no way to stop it. Polonitsa tells commander that there's someone higher up providing the Variegas some band tracking technology. And later, our commander meets up with the commanding officer of the Great Wall Railway Garrison, Warrant Officer Vladimir, who is also an old friend of the commander. We help him with clearing up some elites. Elites are basically organisms infected by collapsed particles. Collapsed particles is a really huge thing in GFL. It's a whole iceberg, but you just need to know that it's really bad stuff if humans are exposed to it. Later, Commander detects a stowaway on board the Elmo, and it turns out to be a doll named Kofni, a medical doll who used to belong to a medical squad that was wiped out. Commander knows that Kofni has other agendas, but also allowed her to stay on the Elmo. And after that, Commander continues on their mission while still fighting off the Variegas. It's revealed later that this pink-haired dude has been hiring them to retrieve the box. We still don't know his name yet. Later, a huge collapse storm happened, spawning many elites and a class 4 elite known as a Bujum. Krolik is stranded protecting the box, but the rest of the gang manages to catch up with her soon after. Kofni argues that Krolik's backup is on board the Elmo, so it was fine to just let her go, but Groza argues that she's not leaving any comrade behind. The huge Bujum triggers a landmine and is stunned in place. It turns out that the mine was planted by Kofni. Ultimately, they manage to force the Variegas group into retreating. Variegas attacks again with a huge mecha and manages to get the box. However, the box opens again, revealing the purple-haired girl who once again beams them to death before returning into the box and going dormant again. And that's the end of Chapter 2. In Chapter 3, Commander successfully opens the box and talks to the little girl. She doesn't seem to know her own name and origins and was surprised that the Commander was able to open the box. Commander sees that the box is codenamed Helena 043 and thus decided to name her Helena. Commander inferred that Helena 043 is completely immune to collapsed particles. Later, Commander finally gets to talk to the person behind the commission, who turns out to be the pink-haired guy, who tells the Commander to deliver the box to his location, his own coordinates. At the same time, Groza was explaining to Kofni on why she decided to save Kralik, and it was due to not wanting her comrades to lose their memories even though they have their backups saved. So basically, the dolls all have their backups saved on the cloud, and if they die, you basically just load it again. So Groza is just saying that she doesn't want any missing memory between the moment where they died and the moment they got rebooted. Later, Commander was contacted by a mysterious woman looking to assist them, but will only do so after meeting face to face. Commander then says that she can absolutely be trusted and that they should go to her right away. Commander decides to split the group into two teams, with Commander and Helena going off to meet the mysterious lady, while the rest go to the client, with Mei Ling pretending to be the actual Commander. Our Commander also tells Mei Ling to stow a hidden force shield device as protection. The client, aka pink-haired dude, shoots Mei Ling with his handgun, and the hidden force shield activates and saves her life, just as Commander planned. A huge fight ensues, and the client was forced to retreat, being saved by a blonde-haired doll named Sextans. We learned that Sextans is a third-generation doll. FYI, our doll, Groza and gang, are only second-gen. So Commander gives the order to retreat. Sextans then tells the client to search for the real Elmo Commander to retrieve the box. And that's the end of Chapter 3.
断っておくが、私に加えて危害は一つ残らずイーズリー会長に。
わお、怖い。
分かればいいんですよ。さあ、おとなしく品物を。
でもコルフェン、イーズリーが誰なのか全然知らないな。コルフェンが知ってるのは、少しでも動く素振りを見せたらパーンって音とともにあなたの側頭骨に穴が開いて、タガがもう一方の側頭骨から出てくることくらいですかね。
戦闘終了か？
敵ユニットの相当完了。依頼人を捕獲したわ。
連れて行け。いろいろと聞きたいことがある。
おろせ、セクスタンス。
何があった、クローザー？
訂正。敵ユニット残り1。依頼人を失ったわ。各員、迎撃準備。
In Chapter 4, Commander and Helena disguise as civilians to rendezvous with the mysterious lady. Their cover was nearly exposed at the checkpoint but was saved by Lena, who was also known as UMP-9 in GFL-1. We learned that the contact was actually Kalina, our adjutant since GFL-1, who now works for the URNC, Union of Rosatris Nations Coalition, so we'll just call them URNC, it's a mouthful. Government under NOMFA, Non-Military Forces Administration. You find out that the commission came from a faction called the Gerard Group, so just remember this name, Gerard Group. You learn that Kalina has been silently keeping watch on the commander for the past 10 years. Later, Kalina receives news that the police are about to search the place. Helena was sent to Persica's location for examination. Persica is basically this research lady who has been helping us since the events of GFL 1. After parting ways with Kalina, Commander went to search for Helena and obtain the remolding pattern device, gaining a huge boost in power level for the dolls. However, for the time being, it was kept at 2/3 of its maximum power. Commander goes off to regroup with Groza's squad, while Lena leaves them as she still has to help Kalina. Later, the client is seen with Helena, and Darcher and Sextans will soon arrive to support. Darcher is also a 3rd-gen doll, by the way. Commander manages to rescue Helena, infuriating the client. He orders Sextans to get her back or be scrapped. And the events after that lead up to the start of the game, where Commander's group manages to escape, with Groza staying behind to buy them time. Sextans obtain evidence on Kalina that she has been aiding the commander, and tipped off to the higher authorities to frame Kalina and her office getting raided by the police in order to arrest her. But Lena and Leva is UMP-45 from GFL 1, comes to their rescue in an aircraft and saves them. And that's the end of Chapter 4.
すでにお送りしておきましたよ。
これがあなたの言うプレゼントですか。
またお会いしましょう。
参事官殿、あなたは国家の安全を脅かした罪、軍務執行の妨害等で起訴されている。これより罪人に対する制裁を行う。
制裁？あなたの言う制裁とはすなわち死刑執行では。
そうご理解いただいて構わない。
遅かったですね。何か問題が？ただリバネーに久しぶりに会ったから盛り上がっちゃって。それよりさっきのリバネーの援護射撃超かっこよくなかった？かっこよかったよね。レナさん、まずは問題を解決しましょう。お疲れ様、二人とも。
In Chapter 5, we learned that the client is from the Claude family, called Darren Claude. Sextans ignores his threats and calls Darcher, and the two of them don't seem to get along very well. Darcher says that Darren will be the scapegoat for their current failure, but there will not be a next time. And with that, Sextans goes back to the room and kills Darren. On Darcher's end, she's seen standing on a burned doll's body and talking to an unknown person, who says that she has a plan to retrieve the box. This series of events is shown in the opening battle as you begin GFL 2, and it's also right after they got the remolding pattern device, so they haven't been able to unleash their full potential yet. Commander managed to contact the dolls and learn of Groza's sacrifice, and then Mei Ling reboots Groza into a new body. When Groza awakens, she was exhibiting some abnormalities, but soon returned to normal, and Groza tells Mei Ling to not mention this to the commander to not let them worry. Our commander finds out about the abnormality anyway, but decides to not pursue the matter. We learned that when Commander saved Groza a long time ago, Groza had no memories of this event. We get information about Helena, and Commander determines that Helena may not be a true immune organism to the collapsed particles. The Commander suspects that Helena may be an incomplete immune being, as she was showing symptoms of physical discomfort on board the Elmo. Commander infers that she feels unwell when she's deprived of collapse radiation, hence the suspicion. Later, Elmo receives an encrypted message to meet at a factory, and the signal is from Kalina. But Commander has no way of contacting Kalina, and our commander feels suspicious but still decides to go to the factory anyway. They were attacked by Darcher when they arrived at the factory, but they defeated her with the new remolding pattern device taken to its full potential thanks to Mei Ling's calibration. And that's the end of Chapter 5.
This 前よりも手強くなってるわ、隊長。あなたの報告と比べると 確かに戦闘力が上がっているわね。あのでっかいの本気出したんじゃないですか。各自稼働状況を報告して。 68% 到達です。 68% になった。ネメシスも OK よ。行動開始。
おかげさまで順調よ、ダーチは。さて、今のあなたには2つの選択肢があるわ。破滅へ向かうセクスタンスとともに意味のない任務を続けるか、あるいは今のように私と手を組んでお互い協力し合うか。
In Chapter 6, Kalina manages to contact the commander, and we learn that Sextons and Darcher both belong to the Girard group, but Darcher left the group and was working with an unknown collaborator. Helena's true identity might be that of a clone created by the pharmaceutical company, and Commander wonders why Girard group is so hell-bent on getting Helena if she's just a clone. Our commander decides to meet up with Kalina again, but the Elmo first requires resupply at the nearby black market and the contact Saga. Lena calls them to say that Sextons has disappeared and told Commander to be careful, and Elmo continues to be on the move and has a battle with the Variegers again. We learn that Qiuhua has a deep-seated hate for them as they were behind the annihilation of her previous squad. A human close friend that Qiuhua saw as a sister who also gave her her name was also killed by them. And that's the end of Chapter 6.
ここから入ればいいのよね。そのなんとか町ってのは。
そうだ。
リフトまであるの？
おそらく大型の貨物を運ぶためのものだろう。キャロリック、コルフェに基地を降りると伝えてくれ。メイリン、君はヘレナと軌道基地に残って物資を受け取る準備を。
In Chapter 7, the Elmo arrives at the black market and they recruited Vepli, a naive idol doll that loves to sing and dance. And at this point, Qiuhua has been acting strange as she learned that Saga has dealt with Variegers in the past. She met a contact called Qiuhua, who contracted Elite disease and kept chanting, wanting to be saved by Emor. So Saga says that Emor is the latest resident that is able to cure Elite, but people who went to see Emor never comes back. Qiuhua knows about Qiuhua, who is responsible for a squad's death, and was hell-bent on finding him, but was stopped by Commander, who sent her back to the Elmo. Qiuhua then accessed the Elmo servers using the device that has the Commander's ID and removed her backup from the database so she could move freely on her own. As Commander returns to the Elmo to hold a welcome celebration for Qiuhua, they notice that she's missing and even deleted her backup on the Elmo. Meaning, if Qiuhua dies, it's gonna be a permadeath. Our commander sees hooded figures and immediately know that they're Paradius and gets triggered, a long-time enemy group since GFL 1. Commander sees a congregation worshipping Niter and also spots Qiuhua, and Qiuhua was about to succeed in getting her revenge as Krolik forcefully brings her back, but they were spotted anyway and attacked by everyone in the congregation. And that's the end of Chapter 7. In Chapter 8, our commander's team not only rescued Qiuhua, but also managed to capture Niter. Qiuhua explains that many of Niter's body parts have been replaced with machinery, and a purification is about to happen in 5 days. While everyone is consoling Qiuhua, Mei Ling finds out that the Elmo system has been hacked while Niter makes her escape. Commander explains that their final mission involves William, who is the founder of Paradius, and their goal was to create a body immune to the collapsed particles. During the purification, a Nito appears. Nito are known enemies also from the first game, and we find Qiuhua, who has severe Elite symptoms, and Nito chooses him to purify, and he morphs into a monster instead, and a huge fight breaks out. Just as the fight was going on, Commander encountered Sextans again, but this time, she seems to be a lot weaker than before. After the battle, Groza manages to find Qiuhua, and Qiuhua admits that she has killed Qiuhua, succeeding her revenge. Qiuhua approaches Commander to have a private talk, and Qiuhua offers her entire being as long as the Commander helps her with her revenge. But Commander jokes that she doesn't have to do it since she's not worth much in parts and that her sister would want her to live on as well. Commander gives Qiuhua a box containing her uniform from her previous squad, which was meant to be a welcoming gift, and she breaks down in tears and they finally reconcile and hug. Later, they were pursued by Paradius again, and Commander fights them off, and all that's left was Sextans, who seems to be amnesiac. She doesn't remember who she is.
浄化されし者へ告別を。悲哀の面持ちは我らを普通の果てへと導く。消失せし神か。主は本命をもって我らに示さん。帰るべき場所を離す。美行再び力を過去を歌した。美行は再臨。失敗した。去りし者との再会。
警戒して。こっちに向かってる。
望むところよ。浄化されし者は選ばれた。
迎撃用意。コルセン戻って。ネメシス交代。レプリーは奴を食い止めて。ヘレナ。
意識、実験。お願い、お願い。
ヘロイック、ヘレナを取り押さえて。他は私と共に迎撃。
And that's the end of Chapter 8, guys. So this is basically a crash course from Chapter 0 all the way to 8 to get you started right away. And the chapter right after that would be Exilium. Exilium is peak writing featuring Qiuhua, and I highly recommend you guys to read it. And that's the end of the summary, guys. Consider leaving a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Download link is in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.